Hey everyone, what's going on? Sylarclone here. Today we're going to be doing a quick introduction into Knights of the Old Republic. The first one, obviously, with the picture of Darth Malik on here. For those of you who have played the game, we know who we're looking at. Those who have not, we will get into him later. It's not much of a spoiler. So, we're just going to do a character creation today. I find this to be the most difficult part of the game since it uses a turn-based modified D20 system. Now, for those of you who have no idea what I just said, it's turn-based combat. So, I go, computer goes, and the cycle repeats. Modified D20 uses a 20-sided die roll, much like games as Dungeons and Dragons do. Takes a little getting used to with this, and it's very difficult at first, and I struggled with it my first playthrough, and in my more recent playthroughs I've come to understand it more. This is why this video is here, to help show you how to create a character right off the start and explain what each of the stats do for you. So without further ado, we're going to go into new game. We get a loading. Now you can choose one of 6 basic cardboard characters: female, male, scoundrel, as we see, rogue, gets by with stealth and guile, scout, explorers, soldier, fighting. Personally, I like to go with the scoundrel. The scoundrel allows for persuasion, which is a very good skill, which I'll get into in a little bit. I've not had much experience with scout, so I don't know too much of what they do, but I know soldiers are more based on combat, so we might actually be able to get to see a chance of those creations today. So we'll start with the scoundrel. Make a custom character, portrait, cardboard cutouts with it, which ones you can go through. Can't do much more out of customization than that. You just kind of pick whichever one you like. I normally just default with this one, so this is the one I'm going to pick. Attributes. Now, this is what I'm talking about with that modified D20 system. We see here with my strength. Strength measures physical power. High strength modifiers to melee damage and chances to hit. So you roll for a chance to hit. Are you going to hit your opponent? If so, for how much? Right now we see it costs 1 point to put anything into it. Right now we have a -1 modifier. What the -1 modifier means is that you're set back every time you do one of these actions requiring one of these. So my strength, if I want to hit, I'm set back because I don't have the skills into it. If I want to dodge with dexterity or any of these other ones, I can't do it, or I'm set back away. So what I immediately spent right away is 2 points in each of them. As you see, that modifier is now, there's nothing there. So we'll do that for all of them. Alright. So we've covered what strength does. We've done with the modifier, dexterity, agility, reflexes, how well you can dodge things. So as it says here on the screen, ranged attack rolls, so how well are you going to hit with a blaster rifle or grenades, and making them harder to hit, like I was saying. Constitution, that's more health. It's great for soldiers if you're wanting to be just beefy like those Jedi Guardians. It says that right here. Intelligence, how many points you can spend on it, we'll get into that next, but I haven't seen much of a need for it. If you're more interested in spending points in it, that's up to you. Wisdom draws into your Jedi power pools. We'll get into that a little later. The Jedi powers don't come into play until much later in the game, so with those have more power with that. And then charisma, how often you're able to persuade people. So for scoundrels, it works great. But in this case, I took it this way. So, what I'm going to do then, the max you can put anything up to is 18 right off the bat. I'm going to put all of mine in strength. I'm always based on combat. You get a lightsaber in this game. Obviously, it's right in there. So the lightsaber's great for combat. I'd rather have more strength and a higher chance to hit, especially early in the game to make things easier. Sure, I could put it into dexterity and make it harder to hit, but there are only certain points in the game where I'll be able to level these up, and I want to use them wisely. Then, since I'm going the route of the scoundrel. I want some more persuade. I want to be able to convince people, hey, you should let me into this area rather than not let me pass. So I'm going to put points into that. I actually might end the rest of them with that. I'm thinking here real quick. Yeah, we'll put the rest of them here in charisma. The rest we can leave just fine. Actually, I'm going to change our mind. We're going to put the rest into constitution, get more health, survive more in combat. Alright, skills. Here are those skill points. So we see cross-class and then class. As you see, cross-class skills are ones that aren't in our class, so like any pen and paper role-playing game, there are skills that you can level up that'll cost less experience or less points, and there are those that aren't in your class which cost just a little bit more, and those here are the cross-class skills. So here's that persuade. I like that one right away. So I'm going to put as many points as I can in that right away, which is 4. And then I'm going to go into security, which will be unlocking doors. So persuade, getting into that. Charisma is that related attribute, which we put some points into. Level up, persuade in a dialogue, convince someone, oh, you never saw me here. You want to pay me more for this. So they change. Then I'm thinking security. Wisdom, maybe not. So we actually, yeah, we might just do the security unlocking doors. Real easy one to do. What I then might do for my next ones is I know from my playthroughs, I get people who can use computers. Use computers, very, very easy one. Disable turrets and everything. How many spikes it uses for it. Demolitions comes with mines, picking those up. I know I get characters to do that. Sure, it's a class skill, but I really don't see enough reason to pick it up. I might put 1 point into it. Stealth, I've never really run into. You have characters that do stealth better, that have a higher dexterity than you do. Awareness comes with, let's see here, of a character to spot objects or enemies hidden by stealth. We don't even need to worry about that. Repair, fixing droids, repairing parts, no worries. Here, treat. Injury, though, is something I'm definitely going to use right away. We're going to be getting into a little bit of combat, so I'm going to do that. Then I will spend the rest in demolitions, because mines, might as well spend the points. Sure, I could hold on to them, but max things out right away in creation. Alright, feats. So feats that I've been granted, you know, what can I do? So I've gotten light armor, critical strikes, sniper shot, blaster weapons, melee weapons, and a sneak attack, and scoundrel's luck. So as we see, armor proficiency light, can wear light armor. And I can level those up. Critical strike. Alright, doubles the critical chance if I roll a 20. So sometimes that happens, you roll a nat 20. Alright, 19 in this case as well. Stunning a target for 6 seconds unless they make a save. But it also lowers my defense by 5, and if I just have light armor, gonna leave me pretty vulnerable. Blasters, I'm not too worried. I'm going to be doing melee weapons for this, so I'm not too concerned. Weapon proficiency, melee weapons, basic training in the use of melee weapons. Not that bad, don't really need to do too much more with that. Sneak attack, something that just levels up. If I go into stealth, I'll be fine. Scoundrel's luck. Getting into trouble. I get a +2 in defense, always, and it looks like that levels up as well. Fantastic. So, what I'm going to do right away is I'm going to put a point, one of my remaining feat points, into 2-weapon fighting. Because that'll then set off my balances, because you'll get no penalties for holding it in your dominant hand, in this case the right hand. But if I put another weapon in my left hand, it's going to be reduced, it's going to have a hindrance, it's going to be set back. And I like using two-handed weapons in this. I find it's the most powerful way to get through the game. You can have quite a few damage dealings coming from 2 weapons. Plus, there are some that offer special bonuses, and we'll get into them as we go. So I'm going to add that point there. Be set to go. Name. Now for the most difficult part. Sure, they have the random... So we can go with anything, you know, random. But that's no fun. My friends and I have used a random insult generator online for some of those names. So what was the name I had thought of? Well, if you're offended by terrible language, we might have a little problem here. We get a little rambunctious here. So ask what dick whistle it is. We are going to be a mean person, especially with a name like that. So we've got our portrait, our attributes. We're all set and ready to go. As we see, we have all those right here. We have a nice defense rating right away. Alright, so let's get into the game. It is not a Star Wars game unless it starts with this intro. Space. So many explosions. It's Christmas up there with green and red lights. I was standing, but now I'm sitting and I'm naked. I'm awake now. Why was I asleep to begin with? To answer that, I really don't know. What's going on? Let's sound the alarm.
We've been ambushed by a Sith battle fleet. The Endar Spire is under attack.
Oh
Hurry
no!
up, we don't have much time.
Of course, we're gonna have these. So the Endar Spire.
You fall out of your bunk and hit your head. The Endar Spire is the ship we're stationed on. This ship. You probably don't even know who I am, do you?
No, I really don't.
Logo, ensign with the Republic fleet. I'm your bunkmate here on the Endar Spire. We work opposite shifts. I guess that's why you haven't seen me before. Now hurry up. We have to find Bastila. We have to make sure she makes it off the ship alive.
Who's Bastila?
Bastila is the commanding officer on the Endar Spire.
You just started
Well,
yelling
not an
things
officer,
at me.
really, but she's the one in charge of this mission. One of our primary duties is to guarantee her survival in the event of an enemy attack. You swore an oath just like everyone else on this mission. Now it's time to make good on that oath. I know all about your reputation. How you used to smuggle spice and blasters along the Corellian run. I guess the Republic figured since they couldn't catch you, they might as well hire you. And I'll admit, the Republic is in desperate need of someone with your kind of skills.
The Republic's always in a desperate need of
Now that
help.
you signed on for this mission, you're part of the Republic fleet. And Bastila needs all troops at her side during this attack.
I'm heading to the escape pods.
Don't be stupid. You won't stand a chance against
Oh, I
the
will
Sith
take
by
the Sith
yourself.
down. I am
We gotta
Aswad
stick
Dick
together
Whistle.
if we
Hear
wanna
me
make it out of
roar.
this alive. So hurry up and grab your gear. You need to suit up so we can get out of here.
Alright, we're gonna get our equipment. We have a new journal entry. But we will have to tune in next time. I wanted to do a short little introductory video on character creation. So that will be the end of this today. Tune in next time. Keep an eye out for the next video then, and we will then get off the Endar Spire. The next video then should prove to be a little bit of a longer one. This is Sylarclone. Thanks very much for stopping by. I'll be signing out, and I'll catch you next time.